You won't believe what has been surfacing about Pastor Clarence McClendon, a name that echoes in the corridors of faith and spirituality. For years, he has stood tall as a towering figure in the world of ministry, commanding attention with his charisma and conviction. His powerful sermons have moved countless hearts, and his voice has resonated through grand sanctuaries, instilling hope and inspiration in many souls. Pastor McClendon is not just any pastor. He is a man of influence, an architect of a faith-based empire. His face is often synonymous with healing, prosperity, and divine wisdom. He has positioned himself as a symbol of unwavering faith for a legion of followers who entrusted their spiritual journeys to him, placing their beliefs in his capable hands. But beneath the polished image lies a world of whispers of scandal, betrayal, and deep-seated secrets that have begun to emerge from the shadows. Let me be clear, this isn't just another story about a pastor grappling with rumors. No, this is an unfolding saga, one that could shake the very foundation of his ministry and leave thousands pondering everything they once held dear. It's an intricate story of power, deception, and the fragile line separating righteousness from eventual downfall. For years, Pastor McClendon basked in the glow of success, celebrated as a man of God. He shared messages that spoke of divine favor and morality with eloquence that inspired hope. His church blossomed, embodying the aspirations of believers seeking faith and direction. He was seen as a beacon of inspiration. Audiences were spellbound by his every word, which were thought to carry divine anointing. But as the years rolled on, shadows crept in, and whispers began to swirl. In the quiet corners of his congregation, disgruntled voices emerged, raising eyebrows. These weren't baseless accusations. They were echoes from individuals close to the pastor, people who once shared their hopes and pains with him. At first, the rumors were dismissed, seen merely as water-cooler gossip amongst the congregation. But as the whispers grew into a flurry of active accusations, the community began to question the man they once idolized. How could someone who spoke passionately about morality, faithfulness, and divine order find themselves at the epicenter of such troubling scandals? The audacity. How could he who admonished others for their failings potentially embody the very sins he condemned? It's worthwhile to note that this wasn't the first time Pastor McClendon has found his name tangled in controversy. Flashback to years prior, his marriage had crumbled under obscure circumstances, officially blamed on irreconcilable differences. Yet, many suspected something more sinister lurked beneath the surface, hidden to protect his polished persona. And now, history seems to be repeating itself. Pastor McClendon stands accused of extramarital affairs, but beyond mere speculation lies a much darker reality, one that hints at betrayal far worse than anyone could have imagined. This is where the enormity of the situation becomes evident. Allegations are circulating that imply evidence is on the cusp of revelation. Some assert that insiders within his church have held on to dark secrets for years, guardians of a truth that could dismantle the carefully architected facade Pastor McClendon created. It's a tale that has left many in disbelief. For many, the foundational beliefs in his leadership are shaken. Devotees now find themselves grappling with confusion and heartache, reevaluating everything they had once believed about this man. Destiny took an unexpected turn, placing everything he built, his ministry, his reputation, and his future, on a knife's edge. In the realm of spirituality in the Christian community, the name Pastor Clarence McClendon has represented a steadfast pillar of faith. For years, he was celebrated as a dynamic preacher, a man whose sermons radiated power and conviction. His relationship with the congregation was unique. His high-energy sermons and ability to connect with people made him stand out in the sea of ministry. He became more than just a pastor. He was a leader, a force of spiritual nature, carrying the weight of an empire of faith. His influence transcended the church, making waves at gospel conferences and high-profile events. However, as the tournament of time unfolded, a shift began to surface. The man who once represented righteousness suddenly found himself at the helm of controversy. Whispers transitioned into blatant accusations that began eroding what once stood strong. This is how the unraveling began. Pastor McClendon, long seen as untouchable, found steadfast loyalty wavering amongst his followers. As rumors of an affair continued to circulate, Those who once revered him began to question everything they knew. An unyielding force of loyalty soon turned into unease. Individuals who had once stood steadfastly beside him pondered, "Again? How could this occur?" The narrative, initially just a distant hiss, grew increasingly louder and harder to ignore. But contrary to the view held months prior, the world faced an undeniable truth. The scandal was far more extensive than anyone had anticipated. Here's where it gets compelling. Unlike previous crises that may have faded into the background, this scandal seems entrenched in layers of intrigue. The investigation pulled in sources from all sides: insiders, former members, and even those who had worked closely with Pastor McClendon. Rumors of secret meetings and hidden communications painted a disturbing picture. Where once stood a revered leader, there now loomed a troubling shadow. This was no idle gossip. This was an avalanche of whispers that threatened to bury him alive. What's remarkable is the consistency of these whispers. Church insiders have pieced together anecdotes of unexplained absences from public engagements and clandestine meetings with a specific woman from within the congregation, not his wife. The murmurs grew like wildfire, leading many to unravel a narrative that suggested the pastor wasn't quite as righteous as he portrayed himself to be. Suddenly, the man preaching about divine morality was under scrutiny. And then, there was a seismic shift. The contrast became undeniable. Here stood a minister whose revelations slowly ripped apart the fabric of what had become his identity. How did the pastor, seen as a spiritual warrior, fall prey to the very accusations he frequently admonished others for? The craziest part of this unfolding drama is the emergence of individuals claiming to have first-hand knowledge. Those who had been part of his inner circle, loyal aides and staff, began to break their silence, painting a portrait of clandestine actions and offering insights previously thought to remain under wraps. In the age of information, social media became both faithful ally and formidable enemy for Pastor McClendon. The rapid dissemination of whispers across platforms influenced perception in ways traditional mechanisms couldn't rival. The digital domain laid open avenues for revelations to flourish, weaving connections that might otherwise remain hidden. With each tweet, each post, more individuals weighed in, amplifying claims and authentically questioning actions previously idealized. The fallout began affecting not just Pastor McClendon's spiritual life, but his brand. The entirety of his empire stood naked before public opinion. Amidst a storm of accusations, everyone wanted to know, what will Pastor McClendon say? Would he breathe life into the allegations with a response, or would he bury his head in the sand, allowing silence to reign? As the body of evidence hinted at a larger scandal, church insiders laid claim to electronic trails, receipts, phone records, messages that could devastate his reputation. Just imagine, not only is the woman who holds the key yet to speak, but insiders have suggested that explosive details could shake the very ground the church is built upon. Will this be Pastor McClendon's reckoning? The reverberations of his past actions echo loudly today. The impact could alter the landscape of faith for many, unsettling the beliefs of a community wreathed in turmoil. As this intricate conundrum unfolds, many questions remain unanswered. Could this be a journey into redemption or a swift descent into oblivion? How will this shaped legacy be defined, not just for McClendon, but for those who once looked to him for strength and guidance?